introduce to us our guest of honor.
Yes, she's not able to make it here presently, but she has sent a video ahead. Our guest of honor is none other than the Honorable Minister of Art, Culture, and the Creative Economy. She's someone that comes packed when I'm talking about her degrees in law. She is a professional, and she's been doing so much work since she assumed office. She's been engaging stakeholders, and I know she would have loved to be here. But thanks to technology, we'll still feel her presence through the video that's about to play. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I extend my heartfelt apologies for not being able to attend the Art and Technology Lagos conference in person. However, I am here in spirit, and I am truly honored to represent the Ministry of Art, Culture, and the Creative Economy in this remarkable journey. The Ministry of Art, Culture, and Creative Economy is dedicated to harnessing the potential of the country's creative industry. With significant growth in the sector, it has become a major contributor to Nigeria's GDP. The entertainment and media sector, in particular, is projected to be Africa's fastest growing industry. Nigeria's gaming industry is valued at $115 million and is expected to double to $300 million by 2026. In 2021 alone, the creative industry contributed 5.3% to Nigeria's GDP, equivalent to $15.2 billion, with expectations to rise to $25.8 billion by 2025. The Ministry aims to create an environment where art, culture, and creativity can thrive. Recognizing the value that the creative sector brings to society, both economically and in enriching the human experience, the Ministry has set forth an ambitious agenda to harness the power of art and technology. Technology has become an integral part of our lives and presents unprecedented opportunities for the creative economy. It allows for wider reach, global collaborations, and innovative expressions. To leverage this potential, the Ministry is embarking on several key initiatives. Digital platforms will be established to serve as hubs for artists, creators, and industry professionals to collaborate, showcase their work, and gain exposure to a global audience. These platforms will foster partnerships, facilitate the exchange of ideas, and provide resources to nurture talent. We are pleased to announce the launch of Destination 2030, a national strategy aimed at positioning Nigeria as a global hub for arts, culture, and creativity. The vision is to accelerate the transformation of the arts, culture, and creative economy into a primary force for economic growth and shared prosperity. In addition, a national program will be launched to provide training and support to artists and creators in utilizing technology to enhance their craft. Workshops, mentorship programs, centers of excellence, and access to state-of-the-art facilities will equip the creative community with the necessary skills and tools to thrive in a digital world. Diversity and inclusivity are also key priorities for the Ministry. Art and culture should be accessible to all, and partnerships with technology companies is underway to develop innovative solutions that break down barriers and ensure equal opportunities for participation. The Ministry welcomes feedback, ideas, and suggestions. Contact us via email at contact@fmacce.com. And for more information on our initiatives and activities, please visit our website, nigeriadestination2030.com, and social media handles at FMACCE_Nigeria. I want to express my profound gratitude to all participants, speakers, and organizers of the Lagos Art and Technology Annual Conference. Together, let's aim to embrace the power of art and technology and seize the boundless opportunities they offer in building a vibrant and prosperous creative economy. I thank you.
IT is evolving at breakneck speed, shaping the world in its way and altering the way we perceive things. IT is pulsing at the heart of today's business, and ManageEngine works towards simplifying IT management for businesses and consumers. Enterprise IT management solutions designed to manage and optimize your IT services, IT operations, everyone's questions take time. McGaffey isn't long. Shut pressure. And let it go.
Signalized Technology Holding is an American technology company with business footprints across Africa. Our commitment to excellence has propelled us to the forefront of the digital revolution. With almost 3 decades of experience, we have evolved into a comprehensive technology solution provider with subsidiaries and affiliates with services spanning technology consulting, cloud technology, business applications, cybersecurity.
Interesting there. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for us to listen to another keynote address. Unfortunately, he would have really loved to be here, but because of his, situation, not being around and having to do this with us, he has decided to equally send a video so he can actually speak to us. His name is Cobhams Emmanuel Asukwo. He's a Nigerian singer-songwriter, music producer. He's worked with the best arts in the planet, trust me. So, please, one more time, I'd like you to fix your eyes, stay glued to the screen as Cobhams Asukwo will be speaking to us.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, all protocols observed. My name is Aot Lagos. I'm a performing artist, singer-songwriter, and music producer. I'd like to thank the organizers of Art of Technology 5.0 for your kind invitation to speak at this conference. Unfortunately, I'm unable to be physically present with you due to circumstances outside of my control, but I was graciously granted the alternative of a few minutes to speak to you remotely. And with this short time, I'd like to share with you some of the problems facing the African creative and our creative economy, and what, in my humble opinion, are viable solutions. At this point in our economic development as a people, it is glaringly obvious that African creatives are some of the most talented the world has to offer. From the stunning rise of Afrobeats to the world stage, to the proliferation of African content creators and entertainers on social media, the recognition of our literature and authors by the most respected of international academia, and the prominence of various other art forms, be it in international galleries and museums, the most prestigious of style runways, and various other respected global hubs for the expression of art, we are no fluke. African creatives have proved themselves to be worth the hype. And because of these successes, it might be easy to look at our creative efforts and think that all is well, but that would be wrong. The truth is that when you look at the African, and most in particular the Nigerian creative space, as I can only speak most authoritatively about the space I have experience with, any success you see likely came at great cost to the individual creative and is always the end result of beating impossible odds. It is a wonder and a miracle that African creatives record success, global success at that, because the challenges and the odds stacked against us are designed to most often ensure frustration and ultimately failure. One need not look far to identify these challenges or even their solutions. For example, as with most other sectors in the African economy, one primary challenge is limited access to resources and infrastructure. You see, many African countries have inadequate funding for the arts, which unsurprisingly results in a lack of proper equipment, training, platform, showcasing creative work, and the inability of some employees and practitioners of the arts to even measure up to their Western counterparts. To address this, I think governments and organizations can invest more in the arts, providing grants, scholarships, and funding opportunities to support African creatives. And yes, we know that government cannot do everything. However, the creative economy in Africa, Nigeria in particular, has been largely shielded and pushed, and I do mean pushed, because it has been no easy feat, to the global spotlight where it is today by the private sector. It is time to see our government take a more active, intentional role for the growth as well as the protection of the sector and its economy. Look, we want to see our government engage with the best and brightest in and beyond the creative economy to make policies that enable our success. If we could do this much on our own, just think of what we can do together. It is called the creative economy, not a charity, which means there is much to be gained in terms of national GDP, ensuring returns on any investments the government makes in the sector. Another challenge is the lack of visibility and representation. African creatives often struggle to gain recognition and find opportunities to showcase their work internationally. Social media and digital platforms have helped to mitigate this problem somewhat, but, by providing a global stage for African creatives to share their work, gain exposure, connect with the wider audience. But the majority of African creatives still remain undiscovered. Now, to tackle this, it is crucial to foster partnerships and collaborations between African and global creative industries. This can involve establishing exchange programs, artist residencies, and cultural exchanges that allow African artists to showcase their works in different parts of the world. Additionally, establishing well-equipped cultural centers and art hubs can serve as platforms for collaboration, networking, and better exposure to a global audience. Intellectual property rights and copyright infringements are also major concerns for African creatives. Protecting our work and ensuring fair compensation are crucial for sustaining a creative career. Implementing effective copyright laws and regulations, as well as providing legal support and education on intellectual property rights, can help safeguard the interest of African creatives. Collaborating with international organizations and copyright enforcement agencies can also help combat piracy and unauthorized use of their work. Lastly, a lack of access to comprehensive training and mentorship opportunities, this hinders the growth and development of African creatives. By establishing mentorship programs, workshops, training initiatives, experienced professionals can share their knowledge and expertise with emerging African talents. This can provide valuable guidance, skill enhancements, and networking opportunities, empowering African creatives to be able to navigate the global creative industry, confidently. And now, technology as a solution. You see, building our own technology and digital platforms has a huge role to play, not only in the exposure of African creatives and their work, but also in growing and sustaining the economy we generate. A quick look at all the major social media and digital distribution and streaming platforms on which we are thriving is all it takes to know that not one of them is indigenously owned. None of them belongs to Africa. These platforms generate billions for Africans, but except for a small percentage of that going into the hands of individual creatives for their work on these platforms, all these revenues goes back into foreign economies. We need our own platforms for the good of our economy. Now, imagine with me for a second that any of these platforms, Meta, Spotify, Apple, or TikTok, should crash one bright sunny day, or implement a change in policy, that sees them losing operations in Africa. We have no parallel platform on which the creative economies of Africa, billions of dollars in GDP, that rely on this platform, can continue to do business. We have an economy in Africa that is heavily reliant on Western innovation and technology. And technology is key to turning this tide. By the way, it is worth mentioning that these innovations are oftentimes spearheaded, designed, and even implemented by Africans. Look, we need to stop being reactionary and start leading the charge. This will empower us to set the terms and parameters of engagement with outside economies. In conclusion, the African creative economy is fraught with challenges. But the good news is, these challenges are not made of the stuff of rocket science. Neither are their solutions. What we need is a people and government that have purpose to be intentional in fixing the problems and determined to follow through. We have everything else: the brilliant minds, the resilient spirit, even the financial ability of a resource-rich continent. All we need is a change in attitude, and we can accomplish the seemingly impossible. So I ask everyone here today to do their part. If your part is to create, then keep creating. If it is to innovate and build, then do so. If it is to make policies, then do so. The potential for the much we can do is staggering. Let us not be like the man who lives by the ocean yet washes his hand with spittle. There is plenty enough for all of us to thrive, but we need to do the work. That said, it has been my pleasure to be able to reach you today, even though remotely. Please accept my best wishes for the success of this worthy gathering of change makers, Art of Technology 5.0. I hope I can be with you in person some other time, where we can look back on all that was said here today and measure the steps we have taken from where we are to where we hope to be. Thank you for honoring me with this opportunity to address you. Have a wonderful and productive conference.
Wow, I love the energy. I think we're all charged that there's something each and every one of us can do, whether it's building the digital infrastructure to ensure that all the monies that are being made are also kept within the economy and not expatriated back to the Western countries. So every single person within the tech ecosystem, within the creative economy, has a part to play. And we hope that the Art of Technology in Lagos 5.0 will begin to bridge that gap between players in the tech ecosystem, the creative economy, and of course, governments, because we understand the place of policy. So, for those of you who are taking pictures and videos, I see some of you have just come in. We welcome you to Aot Lagos 5.0. We encourage you to share pictures, your videos, using the official hashtag Aot Lagos 5. Please tag us across the different social media platforms. And now, I'd like you to sit back, relax, pay keen attention, because we're coming back with gifts. So you will only be able to win one of my gifts if you pay attention to our keynote session, which will be coming up after this video plays. So fix your eyes on the screen as we have the profile of our first keynote speaker read out.
Dr. Olubayo Adekombi, founder, lead consultant, Data Science Nigeria. Olubayo Adekombi is a C-level business and technical leader in artificial intelligence, digital innovations, and geospatial science with over 22 years of experience. He is recognized as one of the top 30 contributors in the world by the University's Community Intelligence. He is a leader of the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation Programs China for his work on the use of artificial intelligence large language model for financial inclusion. Bayo has led his team at Data Science Nigeria, DSNAI, to build many AI for social programs. 5 of which have been recognized by the UNESCO, IOCDI, as part of the global top 100 list of AI code for social impact in 2021 and 2022. He has worked on technical strategy, mobility data, consumer behavior, and diverse reference data set for many years as a senior executive in charge of advanced analytics, innovation, and data strategy for Africa's 2 largest governments, MTN Nigeria, South Africa, and Airtel Africa. Across over 30 African countries and working on data sets of over 250 million subscribers. He is the CEO of Data Science Nigeria, DSNAI, where he creates world-class artificial intelligence knowledge, research, and innovation ecosystem, which delivers high impact and transformational research and business use applications. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dr. Olubayo Adekombi.
This is a good place to put our hands together for our first keynote speaker, Dr. Bayo Adekombi. Aot Lagos 5.0, let me hear a loud, warm round of applause.
Thank you very much. It's a great pleasure to be part of the 5th edition of the biggest thing happening in this part of the world. Please can we clap our hands once again for the organizers, recognizing the Honorable Commissioner for Science and Tech, Mr. Tuboso Alake, who is the visionary driving this, and of course the curator, Mr. Victor Afolabi, awesome people with big vision for the state and the nation. Please can we give them another round of applause? Now, in the next 15 minutes, my job is to set the big picture for other sessions that we're going to have today, to let us understand the opportunities that is ahead of us as we build Digital Lagos powered through the creative dimensions of data, music, or any other possibilities, and finding the intersection of how emerging technology like artificial intelligence can catalyze our drive towards building a $1 trillion economy. Today, the creative sector contributes only 2.54%. And when we talk about gross domestic product, or the measure of an economy, it's a function of productivity. How many things can we produce that people are willing to pay for? And we understand that with the power of technology, we can create things faster. We can create more content, more music, more entertainment, more songs that people can pay for in dollars. How many of you have thought about your festival in the metaverse? Have you thought about that? And we get about 1 million people joining your festival in the metaverse and sending a lot of dollars home. How many of you have thought about our street carnivals in December being watched live across Caribbeans, Brazil, and several other clusters of Africans in different parts of the world? Can you imagine what street carnival can become when it's digitized into digital assets? There's so much ahead of us, and that is what I'll be talking about very briefly this morning to inspire us, particularly about how data can be used. So I'm going to start with understanding the fundamental concept of the aspect of technology that I'm going to talk about this morning, called generative AI, and how generative AI can transform our creative output and increase the bandwidth of the originality of the ideas that young Nigerians can create, leveraging the power of generative AI. First, what is generative AI? You're all familiar with ChatGPT. You type a letter, type a mail, write anything you want to do. The same principle also means that you can generate anything. All that is required is you have a learning database, which may be songs, videos, text, codes, and then you're able to generate something that never existed before. Just about 3 months ago, I won 2 awards from Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, demonstrating how generative AI can be applied on Yoruba language. So it is possible. So I'm using that to encourage you to demonstrate possibilities. So generative AI allows us to create what does not exist before. Look at these amazing images. Creating, you give a prompt, give me an armchair in the shape of an avocado. Generally, a creative mind may not have thought about this. But through the power of generative AI, the same thing that you use ChatGPT to do, by just asking ChatGPT, draft for me a letter to tell my supervisor that I'm running late, and is able to learn from several data sets that exist across the world and give you a bespoke and customized letter. The same way you can generate image, and some of those images are not what you will have thought about ordinarily. This is just an example. Look at how beautiful it is. Imagine how a furniture maker seeking to build something that never existed before can leverage the power of generative AI and improve its productivity through the power of generative AI. Is somebody excited in the house? Now, let's look at this. A lamp in the shape of an avocado, or a lamp imitating an avocado. These are amazing designs that ordinarily, a natural person may not have thought about. But technology is meant to think for us. Technology is meant to explore possibilities, uncommon possibilities, unusual combinations that can provoke our thoughts and enlarge the bandwidth of our creativity and help us create things that may never exist before. And this is how we empower creative economy and create more productivity, get more people employed, make more money, and bring more foreign exchange into the country. And in doing that, we grow the current 2.5% contribution of creative economy to almost double or triple. Let's look at this, particularly for designers, those who do design. You want to build a house, architecture, and all that, and you're looking for, I want to build a house that combines this and that. And the power of generative AI is able to bring those things that may not appear common. Those imaginations can come alive through the power of technology as an enabler. So, diverse possibility makes possible, whether in form of songs, videos, images, lyrics, so many things are possible. And I'm going to show you several case studies because my intention this morning is to get you excited that we're going to build digital Lagos. We're going to triple our creative output by leveraging technology meaningfully, scientifically, and consistently to do things that have never happened before. And indeed, the world is waiting for us to create those possibilities. Now, look at this. Upload the videos, create diverse avatars. Now, we have some icons in Lagos, Aot icons. We will create the Aot avatar with diverse dimensions. All our street carnivals, the way we paint our faces in December, we will iconize it into avatars and turn it into an NFT that people can pay for. There are a lot of possibilities, ladies and gentlemen. Or things like virtually. What does virtually do? Virtually allows small businesses, or e-commerce company to allow you to test the product that you want to buy by just imagining yourself using or wearing the product. I hope the video plays, okay? Oh, it's not playing. Let me go back to it. Okay, good, yeah. So you just upload your picture, and then it shows you how the dress will look on you. So I want to buy on Instagram. Imagine what this will do to small businesses. That before you buy a cloth, you can test it on yourself virtually. And you can look at how it fits you. And if it doesn't fit you, you know exactly what it is. These are power of generative AI creatively enabling our entrepreneurs to do much more because technology is working for them. And we're able to find the point of intersection between digital and physical, what we call phygital. Have you heard that before? Phygital. Phygital is physical and digital. When you combine it, is phygital. We create a phygital economy powered by creativity. Now, this is what it is. Whether it's hairstyle that you want to test on yourself, whether it's makeup or accessories, all these are possible through generative AI. What this will do is that conversion is increased to the extent that those who are selling get their product better sold, and of course, the multiplier effect or domino effect on the economy can be extremely very large. Now, I won't talk theory, so let me just go into very basic ones. Not just in the area of product in your body, also in books. AI is now writing books. In 2016, a book written in Japan almost won the best novel in 2016. Just imagine where we are now. So go on Amazon. There are several books now written 100% by artificial intelligence. So amazing stuff. There's a lot of stuff happening. Hundreds of AI written books now, which is giving us an indication of the fact that generative AI is learning a lot, and the fundamental architecture powering it is enabling it to build so much intelligence that it can do just anything that we want it to do. So this is in the area of writing of books. Next slide. Okay, good. Next slide. Okay. Thank you. Sorry about that. So essentially, as we wait for them, we see a lot of possibilities that generative AI can help us do. Just imagine what that would do to style, to fashion, to beauty industry. And the outcome of that in amplifying our creativity as a nation, getting more young people empowered, more young people to create businesses, and more young people to build things that never existed before. Now, I was talking about books. A lot of books are now done. This was a 30-page illustrated children ebook written in a matter of hours. These are possibilities in our creative industry. And that is what we're trying to achieve. So just imagine a future when AI-powered book will win Nobel Prize in literature. That future is nearer than we think. Okay, good. Now, so let's go to movie industry so that I can inspire you more. Now we have generative AI that can do script development. And I have done it, I've used it, so I'm not telling you theory. We've actually built models to test the quality of the script that were generated by this solution and how contextualized, how nuanced they are. And we've established that they are 95 to 96% very accurate. So what that means is that if I use them the same way you use ChatGPT, you might still infuse your context, your nuances, but what has happened is that you're able to produce things faster. And that is what drives the economy. Instead of you walking 10 kilometers, you use a car, you use an Okada, or you fly. And those are the things that multiply productivity within an economy. So these are just examples of script generation, or the fact that you want to, you are working on a movie and certain actors and actresses are looking older than where you have placed them. Now, generative AI can allow you to age or de-age an actor. Now, you are not de-aging a picture. You are de-aging a video. So those are possibilities, and those are things that enable us to create faster. We create more creative content, and because we're doing that, we are amplifying the economic velocity, which has direct consequence on gross domestic product, which of course is what this conference is all about, helping our nation to make more money through the power of creativity. And then Kubrick allows you to change any background, photorealistic virtual environment for movies. And then when it comes to voice cloning, I need the voice of my honorable commissioner. I can get a clone if it permits me. And I can use this for anything. Or perhaps a child who loves a singer. A child who loves a singer and he wants to read a book and he wants that singer to read a book for him or her. Don't you think we're going to change reading culture among our children if there is an idol they have in a popular icon, and it's that icon that is reading for them? We make reading more meaningful, more personalized. Whether it's singer A or Cobams or whosoever, I can get them to read a book for me. They read my novel for me, they read my science book for me, and because it's the voice of my idol, attention, comprehension, and impact is accelerated. This is how AI, generative AI, empowers creative output in an economy. Now, Runway generative AI tool that can make a movie. And I'm glad to introduce to you, first, a 12-minute movie that was AI generated end-to-end. And is making a lot of money. So guys, ladies and gentlemen, the whole narrative about creative economy powered by AI is very possible. This is the narrative at this conference. It is high time we began to find the intersection of whatever we're doing and technology, whether it's AI, data, blockchain, metaverse, augmented reality, to improve our creative outcome. Now, Soneto does music for you. You want to do music composition, you don't have a studio, Soneto gets it done for you. Now, Boomi is AI music generator, original songs in seconds, and you don't need to have any experience. Now, what is all this thing doing? Even if I'm an expert and AI helps me to create, then I can embed my nuances, my perspective, and outcome and output is faster and better. AI rap lyrics generator is another amazing one that can just give me a lyrics on love, on Lagos, on anything. It will generate it for you, and then you can then sit down and then make some little changes here and there. The rhyme, the engagement, the feel, the tone, the flow, the style, the beauty, the richness of the language are all guaranteed. So a lot of possibilities through the power of generative AI. As I begin to wrap up, ladies and gentlemen, there's so many things to talk about because of our time, so I need to start wrapping up. To go into the commercial side, these are the slides we've made available to you to see several case studies of how generative AI has been used to create anything from anything, such that we're able to power our creative productization faster and better. Now, the other one is style transfer, where you're able to transform or translate a style from one design to another. Look at Mona Lisa in the style of Picasso and diverse dimensions. This is what generative AI does for us. And there's so much money to be made. And that's why I have to find this slide to inspire us. When we bring generative AI into music, into video, into any of our industry that is creative oriented, we create more forex exchange for our country, for digital Lagos, and we create more employment. We empower more people, which is the ambition of AOT. AOT is about using technology to create more possibilities. And here we are with generative AI. I wrap up by the story of Babonilu and the copper. How many of you are familiar with this story? Babonilu's story. It's a very fantastic story of a young corps member who found this old man who is a drummer in Lagos. He took his picture and he sold it as a digital asset and making over $2,000. I don't know how many graduates make $2,000 in a month, but through creative ingenuity of taking a picture of common everyday thing. And you need to understand that what you call common sight in Lagos is a monetizable asset. Did you hear me? What you call common sight, common scene, all the Owambes, dancing step, movements, times, all those things, our December carnivals, you call them common, but in the word that matter, they are amazing images that evoke emotions and can also create wealth for you, create wealth for our nation. And that is the narrative. So, ladies and gentlemen, this young man helped this old man to make a lot of money by turning a common thing into an uncommon thing. And that is what Digital Lagos AOT 5.0 aims to achieve. Creatively powering the economy by turning common to uncommon and monetizing everyday thing through the power of generative AI. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time to go creative. It is time to raise the bar. It is time to use AI, blockchain, to improve our outcome in style, beauty, e-commerce, fashion, music, video, Nollywood, and let's raise the bar. Thank you so much for listening, and let us enjoy the rest of the day.
Thank you very much. Oh, sir, if you could just give us a few minutes of your time. I'm sure some of us had a couple of questions. Did we enjoy that first keynote session today? If we did, I know our applause will be much louder. So I'm going to be generous today as the accurate timekeeper and allow for maybe a question or two from the audience. Okay, I see a hand there to my right. Do I see any more hands? A second one, and maybe we can take a third. So a microphone will go around. What we'll do, keep the question very brief. So your name, what you do, and the question. We can't take feedback now, or suggestions, or your own commentary.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Amos Ashkurat. I am an intellectual property consultant, and I really enjoyed the presentation. But my issue is, where is the legal implication of this? Because AI has done so much, I mean, it's captivating, but I didn't see any legal implication. This data, where is the AI getting it from? Is it taking it from somebody else's work? And once you've done this thing, when the AI gives you results, can you claim ownership to that? Because where is the originality of that creativity? Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. We'll take a second and a third one, so yes. Yes, we have the mic here.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Felele Oladipupo. I'm into outdoor advertising media. Mine is not a question, mine is just an appeal. So I want to appeal that the organizers should please create a video for us and send via our emails. Please, we need to have this session again. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. And I'm sure if you stay peeled to our social media platforms, you'll see that some videos are already going out. Content also gets streamed, events get streamed, but the organizers are paying attention. Please only put up your hand if you have a question.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Uluwafumito, and I'm a product designer. So you spoke about NFT. Please, can you just briefly talk about it? What NFT is all about? And
Okay, good. I'll talk
Thank
about
you.
that.
And we'll take a third one. So right now it's the legal implications, and then NFT,
Okay.
and one more.
Good morning. My name is Emmanuel. I'm a real estate agent. My question is, how can we start integrating AI in the area of operations, industrial operations?
Fantastic. Good. I'll talk about that.
Thank you.
Immersive experience, augmented reality, and all that. I want to ask if you can just go back to my slide. Because of time, I wanted to keep it to 15 minutes that I was given. I'll quickly talk about non-fungible tokens that we call NFTs. I'm sure we're all familiar with blockchain. I'll start from there. Blockchain is a system that ensures safe and secured way of keeping something such that it is immutable. It is not something that anybody can change, and it is within a distributed network and is in a block. So if for every change, it is known by everybody. That's what blockchain does. And that's why we use it for smart contract. It keeps things in its originality forever. And everybody within the ecosystem can track it. That is what, so if you can go to slide on just where I stopped, the slide after Babonilu, if you can go there, that's where I talk about it. Now, there are two types of asset that you may have. There's a physical asset, there is digital asset. Now, there is those that we call fungible, that can be exchanged, and those that cannot be exchanged. They preserve their value, they keep their originality. And because they keep their originality, like your painting, next slide, like your painting, you know, you have a painting in the house, and that painting, so this is the whole story. NFTs are digital asset that you have, like your normal painting in the house. But it's something that is one of its kind. It cannot be changed, and so therefore, you can sell the value. So when you use blockchain technology, we almost fingerprint it that nobody else in the world can lay claim to it. It is only you that owns it, and you can sell it repeatedly to create value. So if I take a picture of a dancing moment in Lagos and I put it as an NFT, nobody else can claim it or try to change it. So based on that, it becomes mine, like my land that cannot be replicated. It cannot be. And that is why it's such an important way for us to start thinking about how we really leverage creativity and make it more digitalized. I spoke about metaverse. Metaverse is a virtual world. You know, towards the end of last year, MTN bought massive land virtually. Not in Lekki, not in Atlantic, but virtually to create experience. And that is the new world that we're seeing, where you can create world of imagination. And it's not just an illusion, it is a world where people are already selling and making money. They are now digital millionaires or billionaires. So that's what NFT is all about, non-fungible tokens that allows you to preserve the worth of an asset, and so therefore it can be sold digitally. And this is very, very important for Creative Digital Lagos, which is the aim of AOT. We want to bring in a lot of Forex into Nigeria. We want people to see content created there, just as Babonilu example, the drummer man, and we make a lot of money out of it because authenticity, originality is guaranteed through the distributed ledger technology of blockchain. Is that very clear? Now, I move into operations. Now, operations and generative AI will need some little level of augmented reality, where you are able to find a balance between real world and operational world. You know, we now see a situation where people work in operations factory and they can use the power of augmented reality to learn from other experts from other parts of the world, including medical surgery, where you have a doctor in different parts of the world and everybody is integrated into one center. And with the power of 5G, I'm sure you saw MTN advert. I'm mentioning MTN a lot, even though I'm a member of the two families, both MTN and Airtel family. Both of them have 5G technology. I'm sure you've seen an advert on hologram of a man who appeared during his wedding. How many of us saw that advert? Good. So those are possibilities where an expert who is based in the US can be called on to appear and engage us. So in operation, a lot of generative possibilities can be done. Now, I come to ownership, creativity. Now, there are a lot of school of thought. Interestingly, last week, I was at a conference where this was being discussed. Now, when you do research or you build a product, when you build a car, every innovation builds on another innovation, whether it was done by a machine or a man. When the first car was done by Ford, other guys have built on that basic technology of moving wheel. People were just changing few things. When you wrote your research dissertation for your PhD, for your master's, I can guarantee that more than 80% were things that you picked from other people. Isaac Newton said, if I've seen further, is by climbing on the shoulder of giants. So if generative AI is seeing further by climbing the shoulder of giants, it has not done anything wrong. It has only created new wealth for the smartest people who are the first to see it. So from an IP perspective, everybody believes if the same principle for product, design, and academic research is you leverage others to create, the first to create is the winner. But of course, when it comes to the use of content of people in building the framework, there are conversations around how do you recognize sources and how do you compensate people within that value chain. I hope I've answered your question. The biggest takeaway is this, ladies and gentlemen, Digital Lagos, powered through generative AI, metaverse, blockchain, VR. A lot of experts are here. I have Emisi 3D, several of them. They're going to blow your mind. Don't just get excited. Take these ideas and let us build Digital Lagos. This is the mandate of AOT 5. Let us take digital creative economic contribution from 2.5 to 10%. And in Lagos, we know how to do it. Let us do it and make it happen. Thank you very much.
Once again, let's put our hands together. Thank you so much, Dr. Bayo Adekombi, for bringing answers to those questions. If you take a look at the brochure, you'll get to find out that we will be moving to our first plenary discussion. But before we do that, it is very key that we also announce that please don't forget, if you're posting your pictures, use the right hashtags, and most importantly, you can download the brochure online, okay? But to take us to the first plenary session or discussion, I'd like to introduce and welcome on stage, not yet, but of course, by asking you to fix your eyes to the screen one more time and find out who our lead discussant is.
Digital Product and Innovation, Airtel. Oye Akinele is a media, tech, and entertainment business executive whose 23 years plus experience has been primarily in entertainment, consumer goods, e-business, financial,
Hello, everyone. All protocols observed. How are we all doing today? I can't hear you. Okay. Since our last speaker spoke, I was thinking of how I could make $2,000. So I could stay here and you guys could take pictures and let's see if we can make some money, you know. But I'll quickly go into it because I only have 10 minutes. So today we'll be talking about bridging the innovation gap, how AI, blockchain, and robotics can fuel creative ventures in Africa. I'll have a few case studies, and I'll also like to learn from the audience. So, as we know, AI, blockchain, and robotics, they form the three pillars for catalyzing the global digital evolution in Nigeria and Africa as a whole. So Nigeria is not left out, Lagos is not left out. Lagos is most of the time seen as one of the biggest startup hubs in Africa. So AI applications in healthcare, finance, agriculture, they've all helped to enhance efficiency. They've all helped to improve on our lives, bring in, expand on digital inclusion, especially which is what is lacking in Africa. Blockchain transforms finance, supply chains, like he mentioned, smart contracts. Robotic boosts everything in manufacturing and healthcare. So obviously, there will always be challenges and there will be opportunities. So for Africa, we still have limited access to technology, and that is why we really need to go big on these things, because it helps with digital inclusion. The economic disparities are a lot, especially if you look at Nigeria as a whole. Lagos is probably the most advanced state, while the other states across Nigeria are lacking, especially in the north. At Airtel, some of the things we try to do is try and partner with OEMs to create affordable smartphones so that the north can quickly ramp up as well. And there are still gaps in emerging technology. I've always been a part of African startups, and I've seen how innovative all the entrepreneurs and startup CEOs come with solutions. The last one I went to was so exciting because I met a couple of young boys that were trying to turn every Android device into a POS using AI, and that was very, very beautiful. So keep an eye out for them. They haven't gone into production yet, but they showed me a demo. The opportunities are a lot. It's a young population, you know. How many people here are over 40 like me that were a dinosaur? See, just we old people. But all of you in the audience, you have a bright future. We look up to you. Most times in my teams, when I build up teams, I try to bring in the Gen Zs. I like calling myself Gen Z, even though I'm not. So, because I like to learn from you. You were born into this. We just had to learn it, you know. So, it's an opportunity for every young population. Again, there's also increasing mobile penetration. Special thanks to the OEMs like Transsion, who with ITEL, they keep on making devices cheaper and cheaper, even though the dollar is about to hit new heights, you know, and they're untapped markets for innovation. So where are we currently? So like I mentioned, we're experiencing a transformative surge. So it's marked by increased connectivity, 4G, 5G, lower latency in our internet connectivities, technological adoption, and entrepreneurial endeavors. So can you all clap for yourselves for being that startup economy? because we've created not only unicorns, but we've done so well. And with our population exceeding 200,000, it's probably like 300 million, but anyway, 200 million, we have a robust foundation for digital growth, driven by factors such as increasing widespread mobile penetration and a young tech-savvy population. So I'll go into some quick case studies. I'll run through them. So I picked a lot of case studies across Africa, just to give you an idea of what's happening. So my Wingo networks, basically they utilize AI along with digital connectivity and solar to facilitate content distribution in remote areas. It's such a very, very creative and innovative thing they're doing. So I'll employ to read up on them. Because of time, I won't go much into it. Everyone knows Kugali. I hope you do. Have you heard news of how Disney, how they're making money, sure? So they've leveraged on AI for creative storytelling and comic book production. So I'll delve deeper into IBM's Watson's for oncology, which is about cancer treatment in Kenya and Canada. So AI assisted the oncologist in treatment decisions using data mining and decisions. What they did was they improved the patient's outcomes. They made, so patients that had like 6 months to live, all of a sudden, based on looking at data points, they were able to expand their lives even further. So there are some challenges, obviously. A few of those challenges were done by humans, right? So the AI, as you know, it needs a database to be able to read from and find answers, to mine and, So a few of, like in Kenya, the existing cancer data was not as detailed as possible. So obviously, wherever the humans fed in, it was able to analyze. And it was even able to break down a lot of complex data. Could you please, okay. And so the strategies around this was they used individuals to promote the AI education and skills development. They told people to go and get cancer scans, let them quickly identify it. They also spoke with the Kenyan government, to see how they could improve on regulatory frameworks. I don't know how far they're going, but it's in conversations. So I implored the Honorable Commissioner, let's start expanding the frameworks for AI. With blockchain, obviously, it's one of the most innovative things I've come across, because it's not only secure, but it's also creative. Now, for Politican in South Africa, what they use blockchain for NFT art, which I will not delve into, as the previous keynote speaker has already done that. And Ujo Music is a blockchain solution that provides income for the whole ecosystem. Musicians keep crying how they don't make money from streaming, but with Ujo Music, you're able to build, whether you can, even if you want funds raised, you can go through them. You can say, oh, I'm about to drop an album. My fans, please bring money. Let's put it together. Let's make money. Let's sign a smart contract using blockchain. And while you stream it, you're also making money. So you should check out this too. They're both innovative ways. Case study that I'll dive into is agricole. So they use blockchain for transparent and efficient agricultural supply chain. They reduced fraud because what they did was they worked with a lot of farmers, and you know that the literacy level with farmers are not that great. But they used, they got the farmers to trust them, because with blockchain is as smart as it can be, is as secure as it can be. And they were compensated. They saw their money in real time, or they saw their values in real time. So Agricole is a very, very good example of how to use blockchain. Robotics, we go all the way to Togo, our neighbors. They incorporated robotics into eco-friendly art and architectural designs. So to the gentleman in the crowd who spoke about real estate, you can use robotics to do that. Read up on WoLab. They have a lot of use cases that you can adapt for our local markets. XYZ Silver in Ethiopia, they use it for precision and efficiency in intricate jewelry design. So you know how easy it is to crack a stone, but with robotics, human beings can't cut as good as robotics. They use laser technology and they can cut it as precisely. So if they wanted to the stone to be like my head, they'll be able to create that. So please read up on this too as well. The case study we'll dive into is zipline drone delivery. They have markets. They're also in Nigeria, or across Cote d'Ivoire, Ghana, Rwanda, Kenya. And they use robotics to deliver medical supplies, especially in remote areas. What that helps them to do is that it gives increased accessibility because, as you know, logistics, our roads are really, really not great. But they use things like mappings to know best time to deliver drugs that probably need to go into the freezers within 3 hours. So they'll know when it's good for the truck to be on the road. If it's 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. when there's no traffic. If they're going to deliver on a Monday morning and they see that, a pedestrian bridge broke down, they'll delay the delivery and they'll be able to notify those that will receive the stock. So these 3 pillars, they don't need to stand alone, and that's what this slide talks to. You can use either 2 or all 3 together to bring about creativity. So African Drone and Data Academy in Malawi, they use drone technology and AI in innovative film and photography projects. Now UC Kenya merges AI and blockchain for a digital art marketplace. So think Jumia with AI. Think creating influencers using AI, not real people, to sell products. And there was something that Tommy did, which was very interesting. Tommy Hilfiger. In a store in America, they have open windows. They have the products on display. When you pass the window, it puts that jacket on you, and you can see yourself. So that's like bringing augmented reality into the real world. And as you pass each clothing item, you actually see what you look like wearing it. Obviously, education is a big part. I use ChatGPT a lot. I'm sure all of you do. Who here doesn't use ChatGPT? Okay, no hands. That's great. You should all clap for yourselves because I'm impressed. But you also know of Andala. Andala is one of the first few Pan-African solutions that use AI, and they have developers that can develop apps, AI solutions for you, and all that. Then we go more global. There are drafts of AI policies across the globe, whether it's China, who is leading the way, Brazil, Egypt, EU, Japan. They address the bias and fairness in AI applications. They put in a few measures around legal. Their strategy is formulating and implementing ethical guidelines. It's good to put in ethics when you use AI. So you don't go into ChatGPT and say, pull up the book that Oyakidene wrote and change the title and present it as my own. So ethical guidelines are in it. And this helps foster, it still makes us human, because without ethics, without guidelines, we stop being creative and we become copycats. So in conclusion, the future is bright. We keep on envisioning Africa as an hub for technological innovation, with Lagos leading the way. We believe that with conferences like this, the AOT 5.0, it's such a big mission for us. This is a big mission for us. We have to keep on being creative, using all the pillars, AI, robotics, and blockchain. So on this note, I'd like to say thank you, and I hope you enjoyed my session.
Please, let's put our hands together one more time, please. So I'd like Oye to please remain very close to the stage. We're going to take a break. Just some messages from sponsors, so it will enable us to indeed set up for the plenary right away, okay? So please, let's take some messages so we can indeed set up for the plenary, which will begin right away.
Emergency Response Africa for a very well facilitated session on first aid and emergency training. It was a good session. I'm really looking forward to seeing how the learning is going to be applied to even the littlest of situations that may occur at the school and with our children, even with amongst ourselves as a team. Thank you, Emergency Response Africa.
One person can only achieve so much. As individuals, isolated, our ambition has limited scope. But when we collaborate as a team, our power combines. Our strength is unbounded. Being open, it's in our DNA. Huawei fuses together industry scenarios and innovative ICT technologies, working in tandem with global customers and partners to accelerate digital transformation, building up modern governance systems with sitting intelligent twins, delivering better services to people far and wide, promoting the intelligent upgrade of the financial industry, supported by agile business innovation, designing comprehensive transportation systems that usher in convenient travel and smooth logistics, driving the development of renewable, low-carbon, safe, and efficient energy, unleashing the digital potential of industries.
Our seats. I can see a couple of people at the back. Please, let's take our seats. Ushers, direct everyone back to their seats. We're about to have our first plenary discussion. We already heard from our lead discussant, and that was really a packed presentation. I'm glad to see that everybody here, even though you're participating in the creative economy, you're leveraging technology. So all the people here using ChatGPT. Now, let me ask a question, or I'll say something and I'll see if you've been paying attention. Generative, okay. Virtual, artificial, augmented, digital, yes, and the whole idea of Out of Technology in Lagos is bridging that gap between the tech ecosystem, players in the creative economy for this particular edition, and of course, government. So the first plenary discussion will look at bridging the innovation gap, how AI, blockchain, and robotics fuel creative ventures in Africa. So I'd like to invite once again to the stage our lead discussant for the first plenary discussion. Please put your hands together for Oyebowale Akindende. Please, I think the applause can swell. He's the General Manager, Digital Products and Innovation at Airtel Nigeria. We also have Dr. Linus Idahosa, who is represented by Stanley Boapong. A warm round of applause as he makes his way to the stage. We also have Dr. Olushola Ayola, who's represented by Nuruddin Adeshokon, Head Partnership and Collaboration for Robotics and Artificial Intelligence Nigeria. Please make him feel welcome with a warm round of applause. And finally, I get to call a woman to the stage. Finally, I get to call a woman to the stage. It's always exciting to see women in STEM, women in tech. And I know this generation will be inspired by seeing more women in this space. So put your hands together for the founder of Emisi 3D in the person of Judith Okonkwo. Next, we have Senior XR and Metaverse Engineer at MTN Nigeria. A warm round of applause for Babatunde Fatai. And finally, to moderate this panel, I'd like you to applaud our moderator, the founder, Hyperspace Technologies Limited, Olusheyi Akindende. Again, I think the applause can... Okay, so we'll have some time on the clock. We're looking at about 45 minutes or so for this panel, and we'll see if we can get questions within those 45 minutes if time permits. I'll hand over now to the moderator.
A glimpse of it. This session, we're going to be talking about innovation in things like AI, artificial intelligence, machine learning, XR, augmented reality, as well as things like robotics. I'm also very eager to learn. Actually, I was actually supposed to be on this other side as well, but the moderator, the plans changed. So,
because currently, if I give you a 2-minute video and you watch on YouTube and you watch that same 2-minute video in a VR headset, you tend to remember more. So as a creative, I would say you should not limit yourself to just the mediums that are available to you, like social media, to get your product out. I would say you should look out there. To leverage the metaverse, you do not need to be a metaverse developer. You can go to spatial.io. That's just one example. On spatial.io, you can create a space now, share that link with your clients and say, oh, these are the products I have. You need you need almost no technical knowledge to get your things into that metaverse space. Thank you. I hope that's fine.
A round of applause for our speaker. He's just giving us definition of XR and telling us the difference between XR, VR, and MR. I hope you're taking notes as well. Which leads me to Ms. Judith. I want to come to, we are Nigerians and we know the state of the market. We know this, that things are not exactly easy. And I know that for you to do all these XR and VR, he talks about headsets. I was reading something about the new headset Apple is about to release, the Apple Vision Pro, which is about $3,500. This is, if you convert it to Naira, that's almost 4 million Naira. Ma, how are we going to get you, how is, an average Lagosian, an average Nigerian going to get into this technology if the cost of getting into it is on the high side?
Thank you very much for that question, particularly because you've hit on one of my personal bugbears, which is access to hardware on the African continent. But before I get to that point, I do want to say that if you do want to get involved with XR, as Babatunde very kindly explained, there's a whole continuum there, right? So there's augmented reality, there's virtual reality, and there's mixed reality. You don't have to start with VR if you don't have a headset, is one thing to say. You can explore augmented reality with your laptop, with your mobile phone. So that is a possibility for starting. And if you still want to do VR as well, Babatunde was just telling us about spatial.io. So you can go ahead and build. I mean, you won't be able to sort of try it out in the headset until you can get access to one. And for access to that, I will say, look out for spaces where, there's an emphasis on providing access to these technologies. For example, we have a lab in Yaba that is open access. So if you're somebody that's building and you want to try out VR headsets, you want to experiment with some of the technology, then you're welcome to come to our lab on Montgomery Road in Yaba, right? Anybody can come in, it is free, just during the week between 10 a.m. and 5 p.m. And there's the community there to help you if you're keen to build, so please do that. But to the real question, how do we make sure that these technologies are actually accessible and available for Nigerians and for Africans? Big thing. So for context, the virtual reality headsets that we've been discussing, I mean, you mentioned the Vision Pro, but even if we go down to sort of the considerably more affordable in the general context of VR headset, pricing headsets, even those would be a challenge. And the reason that is because none of the big tech companies actually sell the VR hardware directly on the African continent. So by the time you purchase it in Lagos, you will pay a significant markup compared to what someone in, say, the Western world in one of the major cities would pay. And I think that when you all things considered, for a Nigerian, that's not really fair or anywhere close to justified. And I think that when we think about what we do about a situation like that, then we start to look at some of the multi-stakeholder engagement that I think we've been talking about a little bit during this conference. We say, how do we partner with government, with industry, bring practitioners together, and start to have the kind of conversations where we articulate what it is we want in terms of an African agenda for these technologies. And I think that position then allows us to negotiate, right, access with the powers that be in this case, right? So the people who make the hardware available. And I think that that's a very critical next step for us because, we're all talking about things like the metaverse and generative AI. I think it is absolutely vital that our young people are able to play in the space. And we must do everything now to make sure that the challenges that can be overcome, I mean, we'll be working on things like electricity and, of course, connectivity. But that hardware question has to be front and center as well. And we have to have our governments leading the charge on the conversation in tandem with all of the other stakeholders.
Another round of applause for her there. She's letting us know that there's a lab which you can take advantage of if you are really interested in that field. And I would encourage you to to do it as well. What I always tell young people is that, we are at the very onset of some of these technologies, and if you can take advantage of, like she said, the lab as well, which is going to bring me back to the robotics team here. We're talking about hardware, and I know that, a lot of these headsets and, some of these things that we actually use in technology, they have some, moving parts as well. Is there anything that you're doing in terms of local, production of some of these smart devices that would enable people to jumpstart, their adventures into these technologies? What are you doing from the robotics and that end? Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much. Let me say quickly that, let me just commend the organizer Aot Technology, and let me come to your question. When it comes to software, honestly, Nigeria, we're not doing badly. But I have to be frank with you. In terms of hardware, we're nowhere to be found. There are basic components that even university students who want to be exposed to practical aspects of robotics, microcontrollers, Arduino, Raspberry Pis, none in Nigeria. None is being manufactured in Nigeria. So if you need this, either you order from China or you order from probably some manufacturers in Lagos there, or anyway. But in terms of production, we're not there. But in terms of software, building software, we're not doing badly. And I think we are at the forefront. So, but in terms of hardware, we are not yet there.
So what exactly is your company doing to sort of tackle some of these problems that you have said?
Yeah, for now, Dr. Ella Onari will have been there, but I think there's a conference, another conference on AI and robotics in Abu Dhabi, so he couldn't connect it. One of the things he discussed there while we were talking very early this morning is the fact that in terms of hardware, Africa especially, we are yet to be there. And robotics is more expensive in terms of setting up than when we talk of AI, software, and the rest. It needs a lot of funding. And so for now, what we're still doing is we are trying to see through of course, there are a lot of investors trying to see how things will pan out. And they are interested because the Nigerian market, currently 223, according to statistics, and it is projected that by 2040 or 2050, will be around 240. It's huge. So despite the challenges we are having, there are investors who are looking at, what are those things based on data? What are those things that Nigerians are needing in terms of hardware? And of course, I want to believe that because truthfully, investment in robotics is quite high. Quite high.
Fantastic. I echo what he's just said. He said that we are actually nowhere in terms of some of these facilities. And I think so too. I don't know how many university lecturers are here. One of the things I've always written about online is that we need to change our computer science and computer engineering curriculum in Nigeria, because at the end of the day, you find out that a lot of these things that we're talking about AI, we're talking about blockchain, we're talking about XR. I don't think there is any course of study in any Nigerian university that is exposing young people to some of these things. And even where you have the computer science, degrees, degree holders, they are hardly, functional when they come into the organized private sector. So I think there's a lot that we can do to facilitate this, which then brings me to my friend here, Oyi. If you check the guide, you find out that we probably have the same surname, just one letter is missing. His surname is Akinde as well, and mine is Akinde. So in your presentation, you mentioned, I'm very passionate about Web3 and blockchain technology and how it can, I look at it from a monetization perspective. How can, somebody asked a question earlier on about NFTs. How can we use these technologies and how can these creative people start to monetize? Because I know that on the blockchain gives you, what you have with the internet right now, why people can't monetize is because you have control, but you don't have ownership of your asset. So if you have a song or you have a production, until you take it to Apple Music or YouTube, and you see they can deplatform you, and once they deplatform you, that's out of it. How can we leverage that technology for us to start to have ownership and start to monetize our, creative outputs?
So there are two ways. Either we build our own platforms or we have stronger ties with the existing platforms. One of my favorite Instagram handles is eluna.ai. I implore you all to go to them. They have a lot of fun things and also educative things. So like with Eluna, you can see things like how to even make memes become videos. So go to live. So all those funny memes are on Funke when she's looking like, you can actually turn into a video and utilize it. But that's on the fun side. On the monetization side, basically blockchain
cultural shift, again, the creative economy plays such a key role in changing the narratives of people, in changing the mindset of people around intellectual property. There's also a challenge around administrative bureaucracies, and even when people are honestly seeking to say, how can we register our IP, they don't know where to go to. Which office do we go to? Where are we? Okay, if we complete this first set of registration, is that all? And say, no, there's more to be done. And I think there needs to be more that's done, and I think the Lagos state government would do very well to actually have clear guidelines to innovators and to creators on how to go about registering their IP. Of course, in collaboration with the federal registries, that's the Trademarks Registry, the Patents and Designs Registry, the Nigerian Copyright Commission, you are able to bring those resources together so that those who are working hard in Lagos, they have a one-stop place that they can get all this information. I saw in Abuja, we visited once the Abuja Enterprise Agency, and they have a very similar approach, even though it's in Abuja, in supporting creators and startups. And what they had was a one-stop agency where you could walk into that office, into that shop, basically, and you can get all your registrations done in one go. Now, that ease of the administrative burden, we've seen that it does do a lot to encourage innovators and creators take advantage of what they need to know about protecting their intellectual property. Of course, there's also the challenge of dispute resolution. Intellectual property being one of those areas that's still is still developing, you find that there is still a bit of uncertainty around the jurisprudence around intellectual property. And so sometimes cases can take long in court. And this is, again, something that discourages people who are seeking to register or protect their IP. And so some of the challenges you'll still see is that some frameworks, especially around intellectual property, are still outdated. Of course, we've registered a major milestone last year where the new Copyright Act was enacted, but then you still have like trademarks, patents, where we're still trying to get the legislations in. And of course, in some of the newer areas, especially like geographical indications, where there's so much work going on, but yet we haven't managed to get those laws over the line. And so I think there's a lot more to be done in that space around the legal frameworks. And these are, again, pointing to the same challenges. I will not repeat them necessarily for the interest of time. And so as I round up, what are some of the things that I believe we should be doing to make IP work even for creators and innovators in the state? I think there needs to be more collaboration across the entire ecosystem, increased coordination across ministries, departments, and agencies and stakeholders who are involved in intellectual property. And one of the things that we've often found is that there are often silos, and the silos sometimes they affect the innovators or the creators themselves, who are the ones needing this, increased coordination. And so, from a government side, there's just a need for more coordination. And I think it was very great to see that many of the parties or many of the involved stakeholders have been invited, and again, through the office of the Honorable Commissioner, but you're seeing that coordination going on. And I think this is only going to help to further make this ecosystem work, of IP. I think it's also interesting, and for states to look at ways they can set up policies, even statewide policies. There's a national IP policy that's been validated, and there's still work going on around around a possible adoption of a national IP framework. But that doesn't stop state governments from actually setting out statewide policies around intellectual property. What is the direction? What's the focus? How do you want to prioritize IP in your state? And I think this is something that, again, we're very happy to work and collaborate with, but this is something that could only serve to help all stakeholders see how they fit into the vision of Lagos State in the area of intellectual property. I think it's also interesting to look at ways that dispute resolution systems, including the use of alternative dispute resolution, can be facilitated and made available. What we've been able to do, for example, is in collaboration with the Copyright Commission as well as the various registries, we've been able to sign some memorandums of understanding around using WIPO's arbitration and mediation technologies and tools. And again, that's something that's very available to innovators and creators seeking to use these alternative dispute resolution mechanisms. And finally, I just want to mention that it's also important to be able to look at strengthened enforcement. Now, a system is only as strong as it can be enforced. No matter what rights you're told you have, if it cannot be enforced, it doesn't make sense in the end. And so with the whole era of digital technology, it becomes a bit more, it becomes a bit trickier, more difficult to enforce intellectual property, especially when you're dealing with cross-border distributions, you're dealing with cross-border exchanges of content. And so there's a need to be able to train and work closely with the officials, whether it's the police, the customs. All of these are part of the puzzle in ensuring that there is greater coordination, but also enforcement of intellectual property. And of course, I've talked about the ease of registration. I've mentioned education and awareness. And I think those are some of the points I will just be wrapping up with. Now, for the last slides, I just want to mention a few things that from a WIPO perspective, we've been doing also with the communities. And so we have WIPO, what we call these technology and innovation support centers. And I'm really glad because we've had some very, very good conversations with the Lagos State government around this. And we will be rolling out a number of technology and innovation support centers, which will provide innovators with access to high quality technology information and related services. We already have one at the Nest in Lagos, but we're looking to expand this. And what this does is it creates access to the database of inventions that already exist, so that when innovators or inventors are trying to come up with their new inventions, as Dr. Adekombi was saying, you're always standing on what exists to create more. Now, when they're not starting from ground zero. They already have access to the prior art. And this is what the Technology and Innovation Support Centers provide. So it gives access to the entire repertoire of existing innovation. And just with a click with searches, you're able to see the existing state and you're able to start to program your innovations on that basis. We're also looking to co-develop educational programs. And I think just because we're very committed to education and awareness around intellectual property, we will be working with the government to also create and roll out a number of educational programs that could be deployed in primary schools, secondary schools, and we're also looking, of course, to have an advanced certificate program right here in Lagos as well. I should mention as well that there is the Creators Learn IP platform that was really recently launched by WIPO, and it's just aimed at raising creators' awareness of IP rights and related management practices. It's an online platform, but it's a global platform. And I think if anyone is involved in that space, it's a great place to be, because then you're able to exchange ideas with creators from all across the world and see how they are also countering their own challenges. We just want to be able to create that platform where people can really sit and exchange around IP. I didn't put it on the slide, but there is a program that we recently launched, which was called the IP Labs. And IP Labs is targeted mainly at startups from across the country. And what we've done is, in a way of trying to demonstrate how IP works in practice, we brought a number of startups through what we call like this IP Labs. And we're taking them through the use of the IP management clinics to show them how, in practice, IP can really serve to build and support your business. And so that's a program that, again, we'll be putting out, but the IP management clinics, we will be infusing them with a number of initiatives in Lagos State. And I'm really glad, again, I mean, Engineer Kasimo is not here, but we really had very, very great conversations with her team on this point. And so with that, I want to say a very big thank you for having me. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Please let's put our hands together one more time. I'm sure we can do better. Thank you. So we look forward to the labs, and most importantly, a lot of things that creators and the likes in the digital ecosystem can learn from. Ladies and gentlemen, we are moving very swiftly, and it's that time for us to get set for the second plenary session. To begin, we will first of all listen to the lead discussant, and I'd like you to please pay attention to the screen.
Lead discussants. Samuel Onyemelukwe, Senior Vice President of Global Business Development, Trace. Mr. Onyemelukwe is an African global media, entertainment, and digital industry expert. He holds an MBA and a Master in Information Technology from Boston University, and he is currently the Senior Vice President of Global Business Development for Trace. He has worked in media and entertainment in the US, Nigeria, and Africa. Furthermore, he started his career at the Disney Company in Burbank, California, immediately after completing his bachelor's degree in fine art from the University of Southern California. After returning to the African continent in 2009, he joined Viacom Media as MTV Network Business Development Manager, Nigeria, where he created campaigns for the likes of LG, Coca-Cola, and Cadbury, among many others. Mr. Onyemelukwe acquired a master's license to Trace TV in West Africa in 2011, and is widely recognized for turning Trace into a market leader in the region. He has launched many popular TV channels such as Trace Naija, Trace Jam, and Trace Gospel on DSTV and STV Music on Star Times. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Samuel Onyemelukwe.
Hello, hello, hello. How's everybody doing? Excellent. Thank you, Victor. Thank you, everybody, for the warm welcome. I believe I have some slides, which I know they're dramatically trying to change right now. So we hope that that will... I got cold feet. So while we wait for that to happen, can I get a signal from over? The ladies are not giving me any signal whatsoever. So let me just do some talking. So I've been in this creative business for a while, right? I didn't actually even get to watch my whole, a very interesting video, by the way, that looked quite nice, some old pictures of me there. I started off with my career in Lagos, as opposed to what I did when I was in the abroad, as we call it. The first thing I did was I was the promoter and manager for a group named Kush. Now, many years ago, when I used to say Kush, everybody would know who Kush was. But these years, as some of us are younger and younger in the audience, sometimes it was a bit before their time. So, does anybody remember Kush, the group Kush? They had a song that went, "Let's live together." Yeah. All right, so, and thank you. I'm very happy to see some hands raised. And for me, when I was doing that back in the day, it was a very exciting time. You know, Amma, you're walking without telling me anything. So it was a very exciting time. It was an early time in our industry. You know, we didn't imagine what would happen. We were very excited. You know, at the time I got to meet, you know, great people like everybody from Aot Lagos, who's a good friend till today, Two-Face and FA, you know, the list goes on and on and on. And we were just trying to make something happen. And all that positive energy, all that drive and can I even say bravado that we had, because we were quite bold to believe that we could do amazing things, has really brought fruit today. And so when we gather and speak about the creative industry, I do it with pride, I do it with the recognition of my colleagues and friends around the industry that I've fought for many years. Is it going to show? Okay. So I'm not going to sing or perform for you, but I'll still. Would you like that? But what I will do is I'll tell you a little bit more about what I do currently. Because funny enough, I can't remember what my actual slides say, so I'll have to wait till they bring it up. But at Trace, we're lucky, and we're very lucky in the music to be in the industry. We are a cornerstone of the music industry, and it's only by really, creating and building mutual relationships, mutually beneficial relationships, that we've grown and established and stayed in a strong position within the industry. So what I was going to say is I'll just encourage anybody out there, from the youngest who doesn't know what you want to do exactly, you just know you want to make money and be rich, to those among us who have plans and ideas, to just remember that the most important thing you can do is to benefit the person on the other side of the table, right? If you enter a relationship saying that, oh, this is what I want out of it, you're not doing it right. You got to think about the other side. So let me skip along. The first thing I'll tell you is that just some data. Q4 is Lagos's plan to have something happening every quarter I'm so Yankee, sorry about my accent, every quarter or every quarter in Lagos to attract people to come, to be in Lagos, to have a reason to celebrate and party and have a good time. And we commend Lagos State for even having that foresight and thought of those things. There are over 20 million residents in Lagos, at least that's what they say. We shall really know. But I would say at least 6 million of them are youth above 18. Well, let's leave the ones that are 3 years old right now who like to sing and dance. That's nice. Well, let's just talk about the older ones, about 6 million. What percentage do you think are creative inside that? 10%? Raise your hand if 10, 20, 30, 40, 50? About 50. We're talking of millions and millions of brilliant minds out there with their own points of view and so much more to do. And not just in music. I know everybody, it looks very interesting because it's very exciting, it's very glamorous to be up on the stage doing WizKid, wah, wah, wah. But trust me, there are roles and what's the word I'm looking for? And a respectable living to be made in many, many aspects of our industry. 1.4 million annual visitors to Lagos. Actually, this number is 10 years old, and Lagos State right now is saying we don't really have credible information on this, but it's a lot of people. And how do we treat them? What do we offer them? How do we make sure that we benefit from them and they benefit from their visiting here? 150 plus Lagos State government parastatals and agencies. It's a lot to manage, right? So we are thankful for those in innovation, in the creative space that support and want to grow this industry alongside of us. There are over 12 plus Grammy winners and nominees within a few square miles of us, right? I did a talk with Def Jam the other day, Def Jam Records, and literally there were 3 people on stage. It was P Prime, Tells, and Bloody Civilian. All 3. Tells is a Grammy winner. The 2 are Grammy nominated. I was looking at them like, Jesus of Nazareth, see, this thing is wonderful. It was really exciting. So I want us to communicate that excitement. We know how tough it is out there, so I'm not just dreaming, Sha, but I'm just saying at least let's look at the positives. Digital music market is over $100 million, according to Statista, in 2023. I don't know, I didn't see that money myself, Sha, but is plenty. All right, outsized influence. Lagos has almost a mythical status, right? Almost a mythical status in terms of you meet anybody around the world, especially around Africa, and they want to come to Lagos. They just want to come, I want to visit. But we could lose that. We have to be careful because Rwanda, Kigali in Rwanda, I know we just did a big event there, so maybe I'm part of the problem, but they're making a real effort to bring people out there, and it's amazing, right? Accra, they're playing us with that there. We have Dirty December. What do they have? Full Circle or whatever they call it. So we have a mythical status. People dream of Lagos. Those of us that don't live here, they actually dream of it. But we could do more. And creativity, the whole creative industry needs government. You need to work with government. It's a fact around the world that you need that public support. Public support for the arts is a well-known story. And we need government to support us both financially, with laws, with regulations, and to create that, what we always call an enabling environment, which means make it easier for us, right? But there's a lot of positive signals. We have young guys in government coming in, making the efforts, and it starts somewhere, so we have to keep positive. I'm almost done, so please don't mind me. A few suggestions. Allocate land for creative hubs and spaces. We're seeing some of that happening. We could see more. One thing that's missing in Lagos and in Nigeria specifically is a live performance touring culture, right? Every night in Lagos right now, you have over, I got a number recently, I think you got 30,000 live events in Lagos every night, approximately. And think about it, makes sense. All over the expanses of Lagos, even if it's just one guy, you know, blah, 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 you know, rapping over a track or whatever, 30,000. Imagine if there were 5,000, you know, good venues to perform in, right? They don't have to be high-end. We don't need every massive technology. Just the space. Best. We'll build further from there. Tax breaks. We hear too much from tax authorities. For those of us that are trying to build this business, you know, that's where there is a pioneer status. It's very hard to get. Anyway, I'm talking much. Please, I'm begging you, help them clean the airport small. Please, I'm begging you. If you have not flown into international airports, please tell somebody to help us clean the airport. And I'm not even joking. It was one of the things we took into account when we did the Trace Awards in Kigali last year, because we wanted everybody that came to that to have an incredible experience. So thank you very much. I'm done. I think I should be bringing up my panelists. If I have a panelist, you're not telling me anything? I hope it was okay for you. I should go back.
No, you don't have to leave. What we're just going to do is we'll just ask you to please just stay with us on stage. We'll take a few messages from the sponsors so we can get the panel ready. So let's do that now.
One person.
I remember the face. Remind me. Of course. Yes, yeah, the much better looking version of Paul C. Yeah. I remember now. Yeah.
As individuals,
Right.
our ambition is union simple. But when we collaborate as a team, our power combines.
Being open, it's in our DNA. Huawei fuses together industry scenarios and innovative ICT technologies, working in tandem with global customers and partners to accelerate digital transformation, building up modern governance systems with city intelligent twins, delivering better services to people far and wide, promoting the intelligent upgrade of the financial industry, supported by agile business innovation, designing comprehensive transportation systems that usher in convenient travel and smooth logistics, driving the development of green, low carbon, safe, and efficient energy, unleashing the digital potential of industries.
Are we good?
Digitalization is now certain. Together, we strive into a wider world. Together, we accelerate digital transformation. Together, we create new value.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we are indeed ready for the final plenary session for for the 2-day event. Here are the Art of Technology Lagos 5.0 Day 2. And of course, you do know your most importantly, the lead discussant is on seat already. That's Sam Oyemelukwe. First of all, let's put our hands together for Sam one more time, please. Thank you so much. Thank you. I'd like to invite the other panelists to please join us on stage. I'm going to start off first with Head of Music, Sub-Saharan Africa, YouTube. Put your hands together for Adi Awofisayo. Take note, I said Head of Music, Sub-Saharan Africa. You know, when I mentioned that, I think my ears could pick somebody saying, my music don't blow. Thinking that, by the way, she's the connector, so Adi, I'm sorry, I had to put you on the spot. Let's also make welcome on stage very quickly. Let's see if it's around. Yes, most definitely. We do have film director, producer, founder, Film Tribe Media, Kayode Kasum. Kayode Kasum. Please put your hands together, please. Okay. I thought I saw him around, but then again, let's wait. Hopefully, it's not one of those who has just taken a break to touch base with the restroom quickly. Okay, let's also make welcome on stage very quickly. Chief Executive Officer, Pop Central. Put your hands together for Yinka Obebe. Thank you. We also have here with us the convener, the Peak Performer Recognition. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Dr. Abiola Salami. He's going to be our moderator, so let me call him now that he's here very quickly. We'd also like to make welcome on stage CEO, Purple Blue Entertainment Solutions Limited, Chinedu Chukwuji. Chinedu Chukwuji, PhD, Chinedu. Okay. Well, we'll move on. For those who have not joined us here yet, I know I did see the other panelists around, but hopefully, let's see if it comes back and joins us. Also, we do have Dr. Bada Akintunde Johnson. I haven't seen Bada Akintunde Johnson around yet. I know I did see someone that looked like him. But then again, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, my job would be to actually locate where they are within the hall or the second hall, if they can hear me, and then bring them here on stage. But of course, we do have our moderator, so I'm going to hand the mic over to you. Do you have a microphone around there, please? Yes, there's one more person. So we do have, I'm going to call the last person now who's joining us on stage. Bada isn't here yet. Hopefully he gets here and joins us. Let me also quickly call on stage founder, managing partner, Catwig and Dale, Karen Chukwu. Karen Chukwu. Let's put your hands together for Karen Chukwu, please. Karen is founder and managing partner, Catwig and Dale, and she will be talking on From Lagos to the World, Africa's Influence on the Global Creative Stage. We're talking about the influence of Africa on the global creative stage. How many of us know this person? Ladies and gentlemen, Obio. Who's that? Davido. Somebody answered me quickly.
I answer you.
Okay. How many of us know I greet you, bros? Emmett toss that guy with the that guy will wear face cap. I greet you. No, the other one, I greet you. How many of us know that? If you know, put your hands up. What is BF? Huh? Normal baby female now. These people. Ladies and gentlemen,